Disassembly and cleaning. Now we will go over disassembling the machine for cleaning. Start by removing the lid from the top of the hopper. With this gravity-fed model, we will take out the feed tubes. There are 3 pieces to each tube: the outer tube, the splash guard, and the feed tube. Next, we will remove the dispensing head. Be careful when removing the dispensing head, as it is heavy and easy to drop. Carefully take it off using both hands as shown here. Now we will remove the rubber O-rings from each of the components. Take the O-ring removal tool and carefully remove the O-rings from the bottom of the feed tubes, the back of the dispensing head, and the retaining rod as shown here. Once the retaining rod's O-ring has been removed, you can slide the rod out. Now you can remove the handles and pistons. As you are removing the handles, use them to pry the pistons up and out as shown here. On each of the side pistons, there are 2 rubber O-rings that need to be removed. On the center piston, there is a unique O-ring that is designed to prevent spillover from each of the adjoining flavors. Remove this O-ring as well. Now we will remove the 2 beaters from the cylinders. Be sure to use both hands when removing each beater so that the back of the beater does not fall and cause permanent damage to the cylinder. Remove and inspect the beater seals to each of the beaters, making sure that they do not have any tears or wear. Now remove the scraper blade by grasping it and rotating upwards on it, as shown here. Now we will remove the idler by pulling it out of the end pusher. Finally, the end pusher itself can be pulled off of the beater frame. Inspect all parts of the beaters to ensure that none of the parts are worn or damaged. The last thing that you will need to remove is the drip tray on the front of the machine. Now you can take all of the parts to the sink to wash. Remember to use cleaning brushes that are shipped with the machine to clean out every little crevice of every part. It is very important not to wash any part of this machine in hot water. Most of the parts to this machine are made for below freezing temperatures, and if hot water were to be applied to them, it could damage them. Lubrication and reassembly. Now that all the parts have been washed and dried, we will start reassembling and relubricating. We will start by replacing the beater blades onto the beaters. On the top of the beater, you will lubricate along the top of the collar of the shaft where the beater seal sits. Now we will put the beater seal on the shaft and lubricate that front and back face of the seal. Next, we will install the end pusher and the idler. You will see a notch on the base of the beater. Line this notch up with the notch on the end pusher, then push in until it is secure. Lastly, you will insert the idler through the end pusher, inserting the plastic into the opening in the beater frame. Now, holding with both hands, insert the beater into the cylinder. You may have to compress the blades slightly to make them fit into the cylinder. Rotate the beater until it engages into the drive shaft. Then push in until it seats. Now we will do the same thing for the other beater. Next, we will reassemble the dispensing head. First, take each of the pistons and reinsert and relubricate their O-rings. Remember that the center piston is the one with the unique O-ring. Then we will insert the pistons back into the dispensing head. Now we will reinsert the 3 handles, making sure that the handles are pointing up. Put each handle into the dispensing head and slide in the retaining rod to secure them into place. Then put the small rubber O-ring on the end of the retaining rod. Now flip the dispensing head over and reinsert the 2 rubber O-rings into the grooves and relubricate them. All that is left to do is to reinsert the dispensing head onto the machine. Lift the dispensing head with both hands and carefully insert it into the 4 guide pins. Then secure the 4 thumb screws. When tightening the thumb screws, it is recommended to use a paper towel or cloth to ensure that your lubricated hands don't slip. The last few things left to reassemble are the 2 feed tubes. Start by replacing the rubber O-rings onto the bottom of the feed tubes and relubricate them. One thing to point out is the overrun adjustment sleeve and how to set it. Notice on the feed tube there is a triangle cutout at the bottom. Whenever you slide down the overrun adjustment sleeve onto this triangle, it will adjust the overrun. When the sleeve is completely closed over the triangle, there will be minimal mix and maximum air going into the cylinder. Likewise, whenever you have the triangle completely open, there will be maximum mix and minimal air going into the cylinder. Install the feed tube by inserting it into the hole in the bottom of the hopper. It is best to double-check that the overrun adjustment sleeve is at your desired level after it is installed into the machine. Now install the splash guard over the feed tube. Now that the assembly of the feed tube is finished, you may place the lid to the machine back over the hopper. The final thing you will install is the drip tray. Now the machine is completely assembled. Sanitation, initial run. Now we will go over the sanitation of the machine. Prepare a sizable amount of sanitizer in a bucket. Do not exceed formula recommended by Sterasheen. Go to the machine and take out both feed tubes, then set them to the side. Now take the bucket of sanitizer and pour half of it in the right hopper and half of it in the left hopper. Each part of the machine has to make contact with the sanitizer for a total of 2 minutes for it to be fully sanitized. With the mix poured in, select the beater cycle for the machine to fill the cylinder and agitate the sanitizer. Note that you do not want to set the machine on any mode where there is refrigeration involved. If the cleaning solution were to freeze, it could cause damage to the cylinder and to the beaters. While it is agitating, take the large cleaning brush that comes with the machine and spread the sanitizing solution along the walls of the hopper. Once you have finished spreading the sanitizer around the hopper walls, lay the 2 feed tubes inside of the hopper. This will submerge them in the sanitizing solution, cleaning them. After the 2 minutes of sanitizing has been completed, press stop on the machine. You can now drain the sanitizer out of the machine. To do so, place a bucket in under the dispensing head and pull on each handle, as shown here. Once the machine has drained itself of the sanitizer, place the handles in the upright position and dispose of the sanitizer from the bucket. Now that the machine has been sanitized, you can start producing product. Prepare the mix of the desired product and bring it to the machine. There will still be some sanitizer inside the machine. In order to get it out, you must pour a small amount of mix into the back of the hopper. This will flush any leftover sanitizer to the front. Then, simply place a bucket underneath the dispensing head and pull the levers down. You will see the last of the sanitizer leave the machine. You may now fill the 2 hoppers full of mix. As you are pouring, you will notice bubbles coming up. This is a sign that all the air is leaving the cylinder. Once the bubbles stop, you may replace the feed tubes into the hoppers. Now you are ready to start the machine. To start the machine, simply press the select button and set it to the automatic setting. You will hear the beater start to run, then the compressor kick in. The number shown on the screen is the hot value. As the product freezes and changes state from liquid to frozen, this number will count up until it reaches 100. Then the compressor will satisfy and the product will be ready to serve. The process should take about 5 minutes. Once the process is finished, the machine will display the temperature of the hopper. Both hoppers have passive cooling. The temperature will slowly fall around the walls of the hopper, which will bring down the temperature of the mix. It may take a while to lower the temperature in the hopper, which is why we recommend storing the mix inside of a refrigerator before you plan on producing product in the machine.